Shooting USA is brought to you by Hornady Security and the new ammo cabinet. Keep your ammunition secure and organized and free up room in your gun safe with the modular ammo cabinet by Hornady Security. It's the most spectator-friendly of all the pistol sports. You can actually tell what's happening as the match is underway. But until this year, if you wanted to see top-flight competition in steel, you would have to travel to the high desert of California. Well, not now, with the creation of the National Steel Championship on the East Coast. And even though this is the first ever steel championship, the big names are in attendance. The action is world-class. We're in Titusville, Florida, among the palm trees and local wildlife for the first annual U.S. Steel Championship. It's an endeavor that has been a year in the making. As a brand new national championship, it has not been without struggle getting all of the funding in place. But one company has taken a big role with the match, Smith & Wesson.
When we heard this opportunity came up, we jumped all over it because steel is friendly to everyone. Juniors, old, seniors, whatever, it's there for everybody. And you don't have to be the fastest person out there, you don't have to have the best physical ability, but you can still shoot steel.
Not only is it fun to shoot, but it is also fun to watch.
It's a good spectator sport. You don't have to wait for the results to come out. And the competition, the shooting, it's elevated because these guys know instantly if they're doing well or not. They know instantly if they got to pick up the pace. So we're going to see a lot of excitement here with this match. And for Smith & Wesson, it's our type of shooting.
This is a Steel Challenge sanctioned national, so all of the stages are from the standard Steel Challenge format, which is probably the most spectator-friendly of the shooting disciplines. Until now, the only Steel National has occurred in the desert hills of California.
Our goal was basically to introduce Steel Challenge type of shooting to the East Coast. It's being held on the West Coast in California. We don't have a lot of shooters going out there from the East Coast, so we're just kind of trying to merge two coasts together. And the main idea is actually running it from state to state on the East Coast.
Making steel shooting more accessible is a worthwhile cause, so much so that it attracted the attention of a couple of non-industry sponsors.
One is Air Trust Capital and Bulltick Capital Markets. They're two financial institutions, which one of them is headed by George Wolf. It's a local shooter of ours, and he understands the importance of promoting the sport and giving back to the sport, and that's why he came up and was gracious enough to help support this match.
So with the funding in place, the next major task was to find a suitable venue, and the Titusville Gun Club is a perfect fit.
The Titusville Gun Range is nested along the east coast of Florida. It's approximately, I think, about a half hour, 45 minutes south of Daytona and about an hour east of Orlando. And it's right by Cape Canaveral, U.S. Spaceport, and it's just a nice little area to be at.
The U.S. Steel Championship lasts 3 days, with each day designated for a different division. The first day of this match is devoted to shooting .22. The rimfire event is a great way to get your feet wet in steel shooting for a lot less money than with any of the centerfire setups. One shooter trying her hand at steel is Lena Michalek, under the watchful eye of Dad.
You got to do 3 and 2, so I would shoot 3 from this box. So this is the strong side, right-handed. And then shoot 3 there. You're going to load up. Okay, bring that trigger guard, come over here and get set up, and he'll give you another 2 runs. Okay.
Of course, Jerry has a rimfire revolver in the running. Jerry is among a handful of A-list competitors shooting for the Steel Master title, an overall aggregate of rimfire, iron sights, and optics. Jerry, as you would expect, is campaigning revolvers all 3 days. Jessie Abbott is in the hunt for the ladies' Steel Master title. Her husband, Billy, is also looking for a place on the podium with his 3 guns. And Glock shooter Dave Zavigny is in the running for a Steel Master award, even if his .22 is not cooperating.
Sometimes that happens. If they get stuck in the chamber, you got to work to get them out. And I tell you, it'll tighten you up to get your runs right or next time around. So at 4 that we're okay, so I'll take it.
Dave is not the only shooter having problems with his rimfire setup. Todd Jarrett has a major extractor failure here. Todd finally has to go to the pocket knife solution to get his 22 running again. Now this is not as bad as it looks because in steel shooting, competitors shoot 5 strings of fire on each stage and keep the fastest 4 times. There is an exception on the stage called Outer Limits, where there are 4 strings and the best 3 times are scored. Also, competitors in the rimfire event start from the low ready position. No holster necessary to try your hand at steel. And relatively inexpensive pistols can be very competitive here, like Jesse Abbott's Browning.
This is a Tactical Solutions top end on a Buckmark receiver. It is a steel-lined aluminum barrel with aluminum cop, 7.5 inch. It's I just got it a few weeks ago. We've been trying to get it worked out, and it's a really great gun. It's really lightweight. It balances well, and it's like you said, it's one you don't see very often, so it turns lots of heads, and I'm happy to be shooting it.
Other shooters like Joe Cuccia get a little more specialized. And as is the case in any kind of racing, when the level of tuning goes up, so does the cost.
Well, it's a Marvel top end on an STI bottom end. It was assembled, put together by Alzita ZM Weapons, and actually it runs pretty well.
So it's a dedicated 22?
Dedicated 22 for steel. Seymour, compensated, and it feels exactly like my open gun does. I'll put a ice magwell on it, a Scott's grip, and it's exactly, when I grab it, it feels exactly like my open gun feels.
Excellent. That's an advantage, so there's not too much transition.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of time to practice in between, so really all I have to practice is the difference in recoil. When I grab the gun, it feels the same.
As the first day of shooting draws to a close, it is Dave Zavigny with the advantage over all other 22 competitors, with a total time for the rimfire event of 72.98 seconds, with Jerry Michalak second and Todd Jarrett finishing third.
You're watching Shooting USA, awarded Best Outdoor Program by the National Shooting Sports Foundation.
One key difference you'll notice between centerfire and rimfire steel shooting is that the competitors must now draw their pistol from the holster. And in a game where the margin of victory can be measured in hundredths of a second, a fast, consistent draw means everything. It's Friday morning, day 2 of the inaugural U.S. Steel Championship, and now some more familiar faces have turned up. The first stage this morning is the challenging 5 to go. The 10-inch plates are staggered away from the shooter out to 18 yards, with the 12-inch stop plate at the end of the line, just 7 yards out. Jerry is shooting with the limited super squad, but his scores are posted among the revolver irons division, and 13.28 seconds total for his best 4 runs will be a best for a wheel gun in this match. The pursuit of the Steel Master title is a marathon, not a sprint. Dave Zavigny knows that consistent times will be the key. 12.84 seconds total is right on par. Angus Hobdell is following Dave's lead, keeping his times consistent and fast. Angus' best 4 strings of fire total 12.41 seconds, faster than Zavigny. Phil Strader jams to his own beat, and laying it on the line in every string of fire pays off for Phil. 11.09 is the best time so far on 5 to go. But this stage is not over yet. Todd Jarrett wants to keep this match interesting, and an 11.71 total will do it. But as always, Todd is his own toughest critic for extra shots.
I know how to shoot this thing. I've done it thousands of times. The plate's 2 inches to the right.
Smoke and Hope is the quickest stage of any steel match, with a competitive time somewhere under the 2-second mark per string of fire. There are 4 18 by 24-inch rectangles, the outer 2 at 7 yards, the inner 2 at 9 yards, and the 12-inch stop plate dead ahead of the shooter at 14 yards. Jerry Michalak throws up some very competitive times. From his signature slouching stance, Jerry posts the best total time with an iron sight revolver, 8.49 seconds total for his best 4 runs. Top limited shooter on Smokin' Hope is Phil Strader. Delivering all but one of his strings in less than 2 seconds earns Phil the top spot and a new world record with a limited gun. The last stage for the limited match is Outer Limits, 2 12-inch plates at 20 yards and 2 18 by 24-inch rectangles at 35 yards, with the stop plate at 18 yards. Shooters move between 2 firing boxes during each string, either right to middle or left to middle, depending on which hand they shoot with. Shooters will keep the best 3 strings of fire of the 4 that they shoot. Doug Koenig comes alive on Outer Limits. Doug's best 3 strings total 15.42 seconds. Dave Zavigny has stayed with his game plan, keeping consistent scores in pursuit of the Steel Master title. Dave's best 3 strings on Outer Limits total 15.13 seconds. The best limited shooter on Outer Limits is Phil Strader. Total time for Phil here is 14.67. This stage puts the limited title in the bag for Strader, with a total time of 91.76 for all 7 stages of steel, followed by Dave Zavigny at 97.81 and Angus Hobdell at 103.06.
ShootingUSA.com, your resource for firearms news and information.
The Open Division pistol is purpose-built to run fast, shoot flat, and transition from target to target as quickly as possible. In my hands, it's a great tool to burn up ammo. But in the hands of the best practical shooters in the world, it can be a tool to burn down world records. Saturday morning, and now the race guns come out to play. Today is the Open Division Day, and even more familiar faces have made a scene. 2006 USPSA national champion Chris Tilley is trying his hand at steel. Junior shooter B.J. Norris is an up-and-comer in the steel hierarchy. The Army Marksmanship Unit's action pistol team has 2 of their best here. Sergeant Max Michel Jr. is a former USPSA national champion, but the favorite is Private First Class Casey Eusebio, the steel prodigy who first won a Steel Challenge national title at the age of 14. Showdown will be the first obstacle this morning. 2 18 by 24-inch rectangles are set 25 yards out, and 2 10-inch round plates are 10 yards away. The stop plate is in the middle at 12 yards. Private Eusebio makes it clear why this is his shooting discipline of choice. A 4-string total of 7.85 seconds will be the best for the match. The next challenge this morning is the stage known as Accelerator, a stage that is close to Todd Jarrett's heart since he designed it.
Accelerator was a combination of all 7 stages last year at the World Championship. I took a plate from Showdown, I took one from Smokin' Hope, I took the plate from Outer Limits, I took a big plate from 25 yards on Showdown, kind of put them all together, and if you look at it, the thing can be shot in about 4 different ways, and everybody has their own little way of doing it.
The decision that the shooters must make is where to start and where to make the big transitional swing. It is easier to start on and swing to one of the bigger plates, though not all of the shooters follow this train of thought. B.J. Norris holds the current record on Accelerator, a 4-string total time of 9.58 seconds. B.J. elects to start on the close round plate, and his strategy is a solid one. The junior posts the best 4 strings on Accelerator, totaling 9.63 seconds. Amazing. Roundabout is the next stage, using all 12-inch round plates as targets, 2 at 15 yards, 2 at 7 yards, and the stop plate at 10 yards. Casey Eusebio holds the world record here. 8.38 seconds for 4 strings of fire seems unbeatable, and it may well be. Casey's total time today for his best 4 runs, 8.81 seconds. But Sergeant Max Michel Jr. is about to blow the private out of the water. Max is on his way to a new world record total time of 7.71 seconds.
How'd it go, Max? Went good, real good. That's first one I felt good about all day. I'll take it.
That ain't real good. That's a new world record right there.
Let's give more of that, huh?
It's a new world record right there. Unbelievable.
The last challenge in this national championship is the stage outer limits. Private Eusebio has put himself into a comfortable first place going in. A solid set of runs will lock down the title. The race for second place has turned into a close one between Max Michel Jr. and Todd Jarrett. Max is holding on to second by less than 0.02 of a second going into this stage. He makes a great set of runs on outer limits. Max's best 3 strings total 11.59 seconds. Now it's Todd, and he knows he will need a terrific series to edge Max into third. Todd is on his way to the best set of strings he has ever shot on outer limits. 11.52 is the best time for the match.
Last shooter?
Oh, wow, all 3s.
That's a last shooter.
How close is it, Max? Huh?
Between you and I.
You're kidding me. How you know I can do, brother?
Oh, you had to shoot good, man. You did it.
Max has it right. With that performance, Todd puts the Sergeant third by 6/100ths, with Casey Eusebio on top, more than 3 seconds faster than second place.
I came back at the end, and it was hard to shoot against Max and Todd and BJ and all these guys, Dave. They're all great shooters, and in the end, I guess I got lucky and I got to take home first place.